Hey guys, it's Kayla with Kicking Ass Divorce Recovery, where we are divorcing all things that suck in our lives, right? Negative mindsets, bad relationships, crappy diets. We're divorcing it, right? We're getting rid of all of it. So today I am coming to you. Let me actually just check my mic real fast because I just had a slight panic. Oh, no, we're great. We're still in the mic. Okay. Today I want to talk to you about fear. Fear. Yeah. It's a key player in basically every second of your day. It is absolutely crazy how much time we all spend in fear every freaking day, right? Every freaking day. Now, in case you guys don't know, fear stands for everything and run, right? Okay, so basically, I can't deal with it. I can't do it. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna call it a day, right? I'm not even gonna try. And the truth is, we all do this, right? We all do this. Um, oh man, I heard someone today say, good things come to those who wait. And we have accepted that as an like common vernacular, like as a beat down cliche that is just fact. And you know what? It is not fact. Okay? Good things come to those who wait. Have you ever tried to grow a garden? Have you ever tried to find a job without finding a job? Have you ever, like, I can sit, if I need a job, right? I can sit on my hands and wait for somebody to knock on my door and show up and offer me a job, or call my phone and offer me a job. Or I can apply, right? I can start applying. I can start knocking doors. I can start reaching out to my contacts and asking who knows what's open and where I might fit, right? Good things does not come to those who wait, okay? Like, too many of us are paralyzed in fear and then casually telling ourselves, no, 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 no. Good things come to those who wait. I'm waiting. I'm patient. Awesome. Except nothing's happening, right? Jim Rohn said, the late Jim Rohn, said that your previous 5 years is very likely what your next 5 years will look like. Now, why is that? Is it because we're lazy? Is it because we're all undisciplined, disgusting human beings? Nah. It's because we're afraid. It's because we're afraid to actually jump out there and try, right? We're afraid to actually jump out there and try. You've had that dream of writing that book for a decade, yet you haven't actually wrote one paragraph. You've had that dream of having a six-pack, but you haven't given up soda, sugar, cookies, I don't know, whatever your thing is, right? You haven't lifted a single weight. Haven't even jogged from here to the refrigerator in a while. We're afraid. It is fear that stands between us and our next level. So we have to decide, guys. We have to decide. And the Latin word for decide is decidere. And it means to cut off. To cut off any other scenario, right? So if you decide that you want to write that book, now there is no other option. You have to decide, right? We try, right? People tell me that all the time. I'll try. No. When I hear try, all I think to myself is you ain't gonna do nothing, right? You're not gonna do anything. You're gonna kick it around. You're gonna think about it. But at the end of the day, you're not actually gonna take real action and move yourself forward, right? So what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of failing? Because I'm going to tell you, every time I hit record on these mics to get out here and put out my thoughts and put out my perspectives that I honestly believe the world needs to hear, I'm going to tell you, I am afraid, right? Every single time. My next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start going live in my Facebook group. And I'll be honest with you guys, or not my Facebook group, my Facebook, right? My actual personal page. And I'm going to tell you, I have been so afraid. What are people going to think of me, right? There are people who know the old me The me that was depressed and like wandered around in a black cloud all day long. What are they gonna think? Are they gonna think I'm high on the Kool-Aid, right? I'm afraid of other people's perspectives. Other people who frankly liked me when I was in that black cloud. So what does that say about them, right? They probably need me to speak some hope into their life, but I've been too afraid, right? We let fear hold us back every single day in all kinds of things. Like literally, I just want you to take a day and acknowledge every single time you feel fear, right? And 87%, 89, 93% of the time, that fear is not, I'm about to get hit by a bus. That fear is not, I'm about to be bitten by a snake, right? It's very rarely fear of something that can actually physically hurt us. It's the emotional hurts. It's rejection. It's judgment. Those are the things we fear the most. To not be accepted, to not be loved, to find out that we're not good enough. I believed that I wasn't good enough for a really long time. A really long time. Years ago, I was a state powerlifter. And I'm going to tell you that I loved powerlifting. Even to this day, if given the choice between running from here to the refrigerator or working out like hard weightlifting for 45 minutes to an hour, I 100% choose the weightlifting every time, right? I would much rather lift. Sorry, I hit the mic, my bad. We let fear hold us back. And I'm going to tell you that all those years ago, with all my skill and my strength and my ridiculous discipline, because I was really disciplined, if you talk to anybody at that time, I think I had like a marginal little bump where I wasn't as disciplined as I had always been, but I was crazy disciplined. I didn't believe that I was really capable of it. And so I would choke when it came to the big show. I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. And so what I did every single year is prove to myself that I wasn't good enough. I look back at that now and think how crazy that is, how ridiculous that was. I didn't believe in myself. That's what it came down to. I didn't believe in myself. Even though I worked harder than anybody in the freaking state, I worked crazy hard all the time. I would choke when it came to the big game because I didn't believe in me. Because I was afraid. What if I'm not good enough? So I prove it to myself. Did you guys know that you will do that? That you will prove to yourself the limiting beliefs and BS that you tell yourself. You will go find evidence of it. I need to draw this out for you guys. But what we do is we have these experiences in life, right? Where, take little Timmy, right? Who at the spelling bee misspells the word broom. I don't know, right? I'm making some stuff up, right? And he walks away from that scenario where all of his classmates laugh at him for misspelling that word. And he tells himself he's stupid. And then he spends the rest of his life telling himself he's stupid. And you know what that limiting belief does? It keeps him from trying anything. It keeps him from pushing himself out there when he has that big dream. Because at the end of the day, he's convinced he's not smart enough. He's not blank enough, right? We do that. We fill in the blank. What is your I'm not blank enough, right? I find with women, it's almost always the same thing. I'm not good enough. Or I'm not enough. I want you to know if you're that person right now who is struggling with feeling like you are enough, you are enough. Did you know that you have enough electricity running through your body to power a city of 15,000 people, which is bigger than my hometown, right? For 7 days. That's what keeps you running every single day. How much power is in your body. Do you know what the cost of that amount of electricity is? $750,000. That's the cost. If we could harness the electricity inside your body, that's the cost, the value, if you will, inside of you in the form of electricity. Did you know your heart has two pacemakers? Two. Do you know what a pacemaker is? It basically makes your heart fire. Like if for some reason your heart messes up, one of the pacemakers fires and it basically sends out an electrical signal or electrical pulse that helps reset your heart, right? Keep going. You have two of them. So if one of them doesn't work, you have a backup. Do you understand how specifically and wonderfully you were created? And I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole of religion here because you can believe whatever you want to believe. I have no, qualms one way or the other, but you have to look at that and be in amazement of what you are, right? You are a spiritual being with infinite power, and yet we tell ourselves we're not good enough. We're not strong enough. We're not smart enough. We're not pretty enough. Oh, I did that one for way too long. If you're telling yourself right now that you're not enough, that's fear talking. And if you're going to say everything and run, I would tell you, fuck all those limiting beliefs. I know I'm not supposed to use those bad words, but let's be honest. Those are stories that you made up along the way about who you are. You decide who you are. You decide whether you keep pushing forward, whether you keep showing up when you are scared to death. I'm going to tell you the first Facebook Live that I do, guys, I'm probably going to stutter. I am probably going to be sweating. You won't be able to tell, but down here it'll be going crazy, right? I'm probably not going to communicate very effectively because I still have those fears, right? Those fears still exist. There was a woman in the 90s who wrote a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. And we have to. We have to. If we don't, we will play small for the rest of our freaking lives. I know you've all heard someone say, if you go to the graveyard, all of those people are buried with their best, their best beliefs, their best ideas, their best inventions, their biggest dreams are all there with them in the cemetery. Those people who didn't get to live out their dreams, who didn't get to even pursue it because at the end of the day, they were halted by fear. What if you pursued your dream with absolute vigor and then you failed? Wouldn't it be better than not pursuing it? I'm going to tell you this last year, I came down to that moment, right? I came down to that moment for myself where I was like, if I don't pull the trigger, if I don't go for this, I will always wonder. I will always wonder if I missed out on what I knew I was supposed to be doing. I've known since I was 16 years old that I was supposed to be helping people in big ways, that I was supposed to be on a stage talking to people. And I've had various instances on Facebook Live or a podcast, and I get to speak life into people. It gets me high, man. That is my happy place. And we all have a happy place. We all have that space where when we're in it, man, it is our flow state. I don't ever write notes for these podcasts because I don't need notes. Every time I do a live event or a virtual event, I've done a couple of virtual events now for my keynotes. I don't write notes. I don't need notes. I speak from the heart, man. You either vibe with me or you don't, right? It's either connecting or it isn't. I'm I'm gonna tell you, I reached a place where I couldn't let fear stop me any longer. I couldn't let the judgment of others stop me any longer. I can't let people on my Facebook who knew that black clown all those years ago keep me in that box and let me not shine hard as hell for them right now. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now, right? And things are still going wrong in my life. Please don't think that, I have a perfect life and I'm bringing in $1 million and, like it's just not what it is, right? But I just know that I can't play small anymore. I can't play small anymore. There are people's lives that are depending on me to not play small anymore. And that's not me bragging, guys. Like I genuinely think about, I'm gonna tell you a story. And you can judge me if you need to, that's totally okay. I may have shared this, I don't know, but my son, let's see, he was about 3. And actually I might have told you guys this the other day, but basically there was a point where I was absolutely suicidal, and I didn't know how to keep going. I felt like I was losing everything, and I felt like it was all of my fault. And to some degree, part of it was 100% my fault. Sorry, got a runny nose here. I apologize. That's raw and real right there. And I called my husband at the time, and I said, hey, I'm coming over, I'm bringing the baby, and I brought my son, and I handed him to him, and I said, please take care of him. And I walked off, and I got in my car, and I drove off. And I 100% was trying to work out how I was going to end my life. And I know some of you might be like, damn, girl, that seems excessive. Yeah, it was at that particular moment, but I didn't know, I didn't have anything else that made sense at that particular moment. I felt like my life was falling apart. I felt like I was losing my identity. I felt like I didn't even know who I was anymore. I felt so lost. And I went to this cemetery nearby that I walked in every single day with my best friend who had just passed, and I was a wreck. And I just sat down in the cemetery, and I just cried, and I cried, and I cried, and the whole time I'm bawling. My husband at the time is blowing up my phone, and I'm just ignoring call after call because he knew what was going on. I was pretty clear about it when I handed off my son, and I just kept telling myself that my son deserved better than me. And I hate to even say that now. I'm gonna be honest, it chokes me up, but like that's where I was at, right? I just felt like my whole life was falling apart, and that it was my fault, and my son deserved better than me, and the whole world deserved better than me. That's what I told myself. That was the story. That was the fear that was coming up for me, and I was telling myself that over and over and over again. And finally, I worked out the fact that at the end of the day, I really didn't know how the hell I was going to do such a task, right? Like all I kept thinking was, if I do this, it's gonna be messy, and if I do this, I don't even know where I can get prescription meds, and and I couldn't even work out how I would end my own life. And what a failure that made me feel like. Like, wow, you can't even end your own life. Like, you suck so badly, right? And that's literally what I was telling myself, right? Those were all of the accusations that I hurled at myself at that point. And finally I realized you're just gonna have to deal with who you are. Because you don't have the brass to do this. You don't have the brass to actually make this move. So you're just gonna have to deal with who you are and who you've become and how much you suck. And we're just gonna have to overcome it. And I'm gonna tell you, that was the best decision I ever made. I didn't still rejecting myself on all fronts and telling myself how worthless I was. But I was afraid. I was afraid that I wouldn't ever recover from my life falling apart the way that it was. I was afraid that my son would never recover, that it would all be my fault, that he deserved better than me. Now, I don't know how many of you know me as a mom or have been around me as a mom, but I'm going to tell you that now, I don't think there's a job I was more built for. I don't think there was a calling that I was more called for than being the mother of my sweet, incredible baby. And he's not a baby, he's about to be 7, so I gotta stop calling him that. But my fear was running the show at that time. I thought I would never recover. And I didn't think that I could live in that much pain for that much longer. I didn't think that I could do it. And I would reason to bet that some of you out there are in that much pain and you're questioning how much longer you can live in that pain. But I want to tell you that those are stories. Those are the meanings that you're making right now, and I know that they feel true. I know that they feel true in the moment, but they are not. You are meant to play on a bigger level. You are meant to be more. This might be a hella hard moment right now, but you will come out of it. You will rise and be stronger. But it starts with deciding. It starts with cutting off any other scenario. So what do you have to cut off right now? Is it a belief that you're not good enough? Is it a belief that you're not smart enough, strong enough, enough? What do you have to cut off right now to move to the next level? Fear will shut you down in your tracks. It will make you believe things that are absolute lunacy. It will make you believe that your son doesn't deserve you, or you don't deserve your son, that they deserve better than you. Fear will make you give up on everything. And you can't do that, right? We can't do that. We have $750,000 worth of electricity keeping our heart beating every day. I don't know what God you believe in, but at the end of the day, whatever, universe, Allah, whatever, had to have really thought through some shit to get to that, to get to 2 pacemakers, to get to electrical impulses that fire that can help me make all these moves and do all these things on command. Do you understand how magical that is? That I have the ability, that you have the ability to decide today that you're done. You're done with this life that you've been playing small at. You're done with living in fear. You're done with showing up as less than you know that you are. And that's a decision. That's a decision that can be made in just a few seconds. A second, because your brain is that freaking powerful. We have to start making decisions to cut off the things that don't matter, the things that are holding us back, the things that are shutting us down, and specifically the fear that is telling us that we can't do what we want to do. We got to shut it down. We have to make a decision. The power of decision is probably the greatest gift we've been given. The ability to decide, this is not the trajectory of my life. This will not be the end of my story. There are people who fight and beat cancer, who just say, nope, I don't care about your diagnosis. I don't care about your data and your suggested timelines of when I'm going to end my life, right? There are people who just say, no, I decided. I'm I'm not dying today. Cancer's not taking me, right? I told you, I think a couple days ago, right? There are people who are quadriplegic, who don't have arms and legs, who decide to go be wrestling champions, who decide to live their life independently despite anyone else in the world, any reasonable person saying it's totally okay if you need to accept help. No, nobody on the planet would tell them, suck it up, buttercup. But yet, they take their life on as a challenge. Like, I will not sit back and allow that to happen. Right? So for those of us who are able-bodied, who don't really have any of those withholdings with regards to, your physical body and so forth, it's like, what is our excuse? What we're afraid to move on is fear of rejection. It's fear of judgment. We gotta be better, man. There are people out there doing crazy shit with very little. Fear will stop you in your tracks. It will shut you down. And we have to get good at saying, nope, not today, fear, not today. I hear you, I see you, I get that you're there, but that's my 2 million-year-old survival brain that thinks that, me being rejected on Facebook is the same thing as having to run from a dinosaur, and it's not the same. I'm not trying to survive right now. I'm just trying to share a message. Just trying to get love and light out into the world, right? If you're in a place right now where you feel stuck, where you feel like you are not moving, maybe because of a limiting belief, right? Maybe your diet or your health is not where you want it to be. Maybe you need somebody to help you get jacked. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need somebody to help you rethink your perspective on yourself and to help you see how wonderful and magical and valuable you are to the world. Maybe you're going through a divorce or a bad relationship, or hell, maybe you're in a relationship and all you want to do is save it. All you want to do is save it, and you can't figure it out. Reach out to me. We will game plan on how to get you out of your fear and get you moving in the direction of your dreams. I know I'm a divorce coach, but I'm going to tell you that I can help you divorce damn near anything. Because at this point in my life, I have divorced damn near anything. And please don't think that this is me being like overly confident or bragging, because that is just not true. I'm going to tell you that so much of what I have learned and how much I have grown has been through pain. Pain that I brought on myself, right? Pain that I created in my own life. The consequences of my own decisions. Which is true for most of us, right? We're creating the life we want, and sometimes the life we don't want every single day through our decisions. Your decisions can be haphazard. They can be, I think I'm just going to Netflix and chill. Or they can be decisive and consistent and disciplined. They can be relentless. You have to decide what you want them to be. Don't let fear stop you. And for the love of all that is holy, good things do not come to those who wait. You got to pick up the shovel sometimes, and you got to start digging. If you plant a garden and then you just wait, it doesn't just grow naturally. It has to be watered, it has to be cared for, it's got to be pruned, it's got to be weeded. There's a hell of a lot of work that goes into it. If you wait on that garden to grow, that thing's going to be smothered out by weeds so fast it's not going to matter. You're going to have insects eating up every plant. There is very little in life where you can wait on it to just show up at your door. Almost everything that you want is on the other side of a decision and then massive action. Man, I got myself a little hype right now, a little emotional. I apologize. Guys, I want you to know that any anything and everything that I'm saying here in these podcasts, on the Facebook groups, on Facebook when I go live, because I'm gonna make myself do it today. I'm gonna make myself do it, right? So if you have not seen me on Facebook by the end of the day, when you watch this, and we have to take control of that, right? I've learned so much. It's crazy. I'm gonna tell you most of it was the hard way. I like to say that that I don't learn anything unless it's the hard way. I don't know why. I'm like a I struggle with that sometimes. I'm a little bit stubborn, I guess. Guys, if you want help, if you're in a position where you're stuck and you need somebody to help get some TNT and blast you out of that ditch that you carved out for yourself, reach out to me. DM me, Instagram, Facebook, I don't care. Just reach out. Reach out. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay in your fear because it's costing you, right? It could be costing you millions of dollars a year to be stuck in your fear. Did you guys know that? You could have this incredible idea for a business or an invention or a service that you could provide to somebody, but you're letting fear stop you from taking action when you could be making $1 million a day, when you could be having the relationship of your dreams, when you could be having that rocking six pack and the body that you've always wanted. Don't let fear keep you stuck. And if it is, for the love of all that is holy, reach out. I will help you. I will help you because, again, there is very little at this point that I haven't divorced. And I'm not saying that with pride. I'm saying it with, boy, we've been through it, right? We've been through it. But I'm proud, right, of going through it and making that decision to stay here, right? And making that decision to show up in the way that I need to show up. It's taken me a lot of time, I'm gonna be honest. But it doesn't have to take you a long time. You can get somebody to help you. You can have somebody to hold your hand through the process to get you out of that place of stuckness, to get you out of that place of fear. With that being said, guys, I just 33 minutes, a little bit shorter. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. I'm still so long-winded, but I know that this is important. I know that there are those of you out there who are stuck right now and you need help. And so just reach out. Just DM me, strategy. We'll jump on. Something has shifted in your soul and you are ready to get up and start making some decisions, start taking some action, and walking away from fear. Feel the fear and do it anyways. With that being said, this is Kayla. This is Kick-Ass Divorce Recovery, the podcast. And I really appreciate you guys being here with me, and I'll be back next week.